Well, hey everybody. What we built in the bee shop today is a double screen divider board. There's a lot of different uses for this as I understand it in the beekeeping world. And they're pretty simple to build. I followed along. Basically, I followed the plans and dimensions to use a 10 frame, to build a 10 frame bee escape. The only changes I made were, instead of building the escape, obviously I put more holes in and to be able to screen over, and I put this entrance in the one side. But other than that, the dimensions out the bee escape will get you where you need to go. The other change was it's 5/8 inch plywood and not 3/8 inch plywood, and that's only because that's what I had. You could use 3/4 as well, just whatever you have. With the price of lumber today, I don't have to tell you all, it's pretty high. So any way you can save money in your beekeeping world, I'm all for it. So here I'll take you through the steps to build your own if you want. So what we'll do here is we have to cut off our insert for the board. And it's going to be 15 7/16 wide by 19 1/16 inch long. That's for the 10 frame version, which is what I'm building. And I thought about using the table saw. This is a 4x4 sheet of plywood, but this is pretty cool. Bought this back in January from the restore. See, the sticker will pull. Check that out. $2.50 for a 4x4 sheet of 5/8 inch plywood. So got a deal there. So anyway, we're just gonna cut it with the circular saw. Don't need a guide or anything for it. This small of a piece, it won't really matter. If I had a helper, table saw would be simpler. If I was building more than one, table saw would be simpler, but just for building this one, just gonna do it this way. Well, I thought I was going to need to finish that off with the handsaw, but gravity was my assistant. So now we'll cut the side pieces. We use a table saw with the dado stack for that. So the pieces are cut to length and width, which was 19 1/8 for the long pieces, 16 1/4 for the short pieces, and a total of 1 3/8 inch wide. And if I did all my math right, that's going to give me a 3/8 inch gap on either side of the plywood that is 5/8 inch thick. So it would be 3/8, 3/8, and then the middle would be taken up by the plywood. That 3/8 is important as a bee space. So you won't get a lot of weird comb being built. It'll just give them room to get in and get out. So I did set it up so that the dado stack is 3/8 inch wide and 3/8 inch from the fence. So what that should let me do, if I did all my stuff right, is run a pass through the blade and then flip it over. No, don't do that. So flip it over. So go run your pass through. Cool, everything's cool. Go end for end. That would put the other end edge on, and that should go 3/8 and 3/8. Now I did run a piece of scrap. It is set right, so let's see what happens. Using our tape, we do have a 3/8 And we do have a 3/8, so in theory we should have a 5/8 inch gap, which may be a little bit bigger than 5/8, but we're not gonna sweat it. Let's see the important part. Does the board fit? Oh, sure it does. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, this is for bees. So what we'll do now is I'll keep milling the sides and ends, and then we have to put a dado on the short ends, just 3/8 inch deep and the width of the plywood edge boards. So I thought I'd do this before I put the board together. And what I just need to do is find somewhere near the center. So we're just going corner to corner. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I guess I could have just measured it too. Thinking back on that now. So that tells me dead center. Then I can take my square. This is not critical that it's dead center, squared up and true. Just do your best. But I want to try to kind of make it look nice, if I can. So then you get you're pretty close to center line there. And then they just go like this. And so this piece was 19 and then 16th. Well, we're just going to forget that 16th. 19. That was my hose, I swear. 19 divided by 3 is 6 1/3. So we're going to come in 6 inches, and then we're going to come in 6 inches again. That's going to be the area that I want to cut out. And I think the tool I was going to use is this 2 1/4 inch hole saw. And I was going to make 3 holes with it with the drill machine. So I'll cut those out and then staple on the hardware cloth. So kind of a funny story. Over the years, I've accumulated no less than, I think, 3 of these Arrow brand model T50 staplers. And I don't know, you got kids, you know, they take stuff and they hide stuff and they use stuff and they don't put stuff back. So I could not find one of those. And so I went on Amazon, I bought this. It's not an Arrow brand, but it's a construction stapler. As soon as this came in the mail from Amazon, I found 2 of the Arrow brand hand staplers. So there you go. If you ever can't find something, just order a new one. What we've done here is I've had this scrap number 8 cloth just laying around for years, waiting for something. And today it came. So this is what I'm going to use it for. And it's just stretch it as tight as you can. Try to, get it good and flat. But remember, you've got room to give. And the important part here is you get it secure. You don't want any pass-through necessarily of bees. But you want to make sure you go on both sides. And we're just going to stick one there. So if you just did it on one side, the bees can still transfer pheromones in between the two. The purpose of it being two-sided is that there's this gap. So that although the bees can share a lot of things, warmth, warm air, they can't share queen pheromones. And if you do your reading, you'll learn that, oh, that one went in and out. Good job, wow. The way they transfer, it's called a queen mandibular pheromone. I'm not a scientist. I don't claim to have any unique knowledge or much knowledge at all, but they transfer that by exchanging from their own mandibles to the other. So this 5/8 inch gap should be enough that B on side 1 cannot directly interact with B's on side 2. Even a queen excluder wouldn't stop them from doing that. So there we have the double screen in place. Now all we have to do is assemble it, and for that we'll use the, we're gonna use an air stapler for that. Okay, so the last construction part of this task is to make an entrance in the one side only. So I've got here marked about a 3-inch wide entrance. Still have the 3/8 inch dado stack on, 3/8 inch high. In theory, should be able to flip this over and just freehand it through the saw. So we'll see what happens. And that's what we end up with. I'll probably come along with a rasp and just make sure that's all cleaned up down to 3/8 inch, but that's pretty much how it'll go. So the side with no entrance will sit down on top of an existing hive, this queen right. Your cells in here that you want to finish will sit on top in their own box with their own bees. This has a lot of options, but I'm going to primarily start to use it for a finisher colony. Try to use one hive to graft off of, and then also to return the cells after they come out of the starter. I'm just learning how to do this. This is not an expert advice. I'm just seeing what other people are doing on YouTube and copying the people that are successful. So this was mostly a construction video. I don't have a lot of techniques video. This is something that's new to me. It's not new in the beekeeping world. Check out like Bob Benny or some of those other folks for how to actually put this into use, because that's exactly what I'm gonna do. But anyway, this was just a quick video on how to build it, and I look for more videos coming down the road as I try to use it. So I hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching. Any comments or questions are welcome below.